I've done MURPH in so many different types of weather before, and like to wake up today and have it be just that nice little bit of like drizzle, and it was still cool enough,
Yeah.
Where I don't know, you almost want to wear like a sweatshirt or like some
I know,
sweatpants
it
going
was
into
really
the gym
cold.
because it was a little chilly.
It was chilly.
It was a little bit chilly, and then knowing that in the forecast there was going to be most likely a little bit of rain, and then right after we hit the warm up, it started raining outside because we walked in and it wasn't raining at that point.
No, it wasn't. It was just a little bit chillier.
Yeah, but just to kind of like woke you up right away. It's like, and then knowing that you're going into a workout like that is so much fun. It's so much fun.
It was a good workout.
And what is this?
What was the hardest? What was the hard
MURPH for you all that are listening on in to the Average Bros Gym podcast. MURPH, yes, is going to be one of the main highlights, I would say, of today's episode. And as you might have noticed, there was a very different voice on the episode today. It wasn't the burly Midwestern stoic of a man, that man being my co-host, Mr. Croy, who is out this weekend, celebrating 1 year with Megan. So happy 1 year, Croy and Megan. That is awesome. And they're also just right on in for a move here as well. So anyways, Croy's out this weekend. I am feeling and back and ready to roll. And yeah, as you could hear, that is not Croy's voice, but our one and only Mikayla Nelsen, who not only avid listener and viewer of the episode, I hear you also have some connections with one of the hosts. That you being my girlfriend as well.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I suppose. So
that hard supporter.
I know. And third. Nice.
That was such a bro thing.
For anybody that's not watching right now, Mikayla just went 2 fist bumps to the chest and then hit me with the deuces sign.
Maybe I'm closely related to
maddest show of respect that one can receive. So I'm very happy for that just now. Third guest now officially on the Average Bros Gym podcast. We started off, our very first was, I believe, oh gosh, I should know this. I know it's Ellen and Abby. Okay. I know it's Ellen and Abby. I can't.
I know the order.
I feel like Ellen was first?
Good job.
Ellen was first, and then Abby,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which, Ellen, Abby, you both are incredible, and we need to get together again very soon. Saying that to both Ellen and Abby.
Really?
Yeah. I hope they are also avid
I
listeners and whatnot of the podcast. We'll have to have them back on. But anyways, so joining us today, and what a day it was. We were just talking about MURPH, and Mikayla, do you want to just break down what MURPH is for us? I am. I know.
He's asked me like 5 times this morning, and I still have not gotten it right.
To be fair, it's hard to get the order down.
It really
is. Little bit from time to time.
But like if you really think about it, it's like it makes sense. Like it's a 1 mile challenge in the beginning, followed by 100 pull-ups, followed by 200 push-ups, followed by 300 air squats, followed by 1 mile at the end.
Yes. So a mile run to start, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and another mile run to end the workout. This workout being in memoriam of Lieutenant Michael Murphy, who, if you don't know that story, go and do yourself a favor. You can obviously read up on what the events were and then what the workout is ultimately for, which is honoring the men and women that serve in our military. And that is just a workout I always try to do every single year. Again, a lot of the events in his life was depicted in Lone Survivor, great movie. So yeah, go check that out. But yeah, MURPH is a workout generally done in I would say the CrossFit community in particular was what very much spurred it on, and is a workout that now has broken through to even different.
I know like other fitness studios today were also doing it.
Yes.
So I think it's just become more of a communal thing.
Yeah, and I saw Sophie, who works out at like Barry's, and I saw like Barry's did a version of or
A
did Murph, I should say, not even a
Oh.
variation. We'll talk about that in a little bit too, but yeah, so just that it started, I would say, generally within the CrossFit community, and now has gained so much momentum and traction and notoriety over the years, which is just really cool to see about a workout. To be honest, that a lot of the community knows
what that
gets
workout
thrown
is.
down on Memorial Day. Like that's really cool because you had heard of Murph.
Yeah, my actual first time I ever did Murph was last year, and it's kind of interesting because like I really do enjoy working out. I've never done it in the past, and then I did it last year. I did it a little with like, I don't know, what do you call like variations or like substitutions? I don't know.
Yeah, so
band
Murph
work.
Yeah,
I used band assisted work.
Yeah, so a lot of, and just break that down real quick. You can partition out workouts in any way that you want. So you don't have to, if you've never done Murph, be like, oh my God, well, I could never do that. Like if you just don't have the ability. For anybody watching right now, Stevie, you are adorable. My little
are you trying to lick his head?
So cute, isn't she? Yeah, I know. You just want to get outside, you big baby. Ew. Stevie, your dogs ever do that? I know.
Her foot just fell.
So yeah, you can scale out Murph.
Yeah, that's what I was looking
for.
In any way. Yeah, I scaled it last year, but this year I didn't scale it.
And some people have like a certain kind of, I don't know, peccadillo with that in a way. If they feel as though they need to RX it, and by RX it means just doing the workout as prescribed, but you can do it quote unquote scaled, such as doing a variation. Yeah. So the way that it's intended, or I shouldn't say intended, but written, is that you would do each one of the movements directly after one another, finishing that complete rep scheme before moving on, as opposed to breaking it up into like what we did today, 10 rounds of 10 pull-ups, 20 push-ups, 30 squats in that middle section, or doing a Cindy style or whatever. And then that it even goes further beyond if you want to use bands for the pull-ups or ring rows, or you want to cut the volume completely in half. It's just a workout intended for any and all members who are willing and able to get together on that day to throw down in this now very iconic workout that's known throughout the fitness studio world.
Yeah.
I don't know worldwide, but like definitely within the United States for sure. That's obviously our guy. It's just something really cool. Like you had heard about it, or you had done it, just your first time last year. Yeah.
And then this year, I feel like I've made improvements on it. And I like was excited because it's like a little extra challenge. So I'm like very much about those challenges and like going out of my comfort zone. So it was fun today.
And where had you done it last year?
I did it at Alchemy last year. So I wasn't in a CrossFit because I just started kind of.
Oh, so there's a perfect example. It's like, because Alchemy, at least from my understanding, I mean, it's not CrossFit, obviously, it's its own thing, programming wise, but they, as a lot of fitness places do, they have, there's going to be, crossover all over the place. But so Alchemy.
Yeah, I did it at Alchemy.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. How'd you do it the first year?
I think I did the same breakdown.
Okay.
But then I used like a band for like the push-ups and pull-ups. Yep. And I was like, that's so many.
Was that what part of the workout going into you were you most intimidated by?
Today or in the past?
Both.
Today, probably the pull-ups, but actually those weren't as bad as I thought they were going to be. It was the push-ups that got me today.
It's a lot of
that's a lot of push-ups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I just like those push-ups sucked. The run was a breeze since we're training for like the ultra.
Oh, the run felt really good.
Yeah, it was nice. And I love like the rain like coming down, and like the run itself like was very pretty.
I had so that run, I had never done that before. Going out the back of the gym, the running loop they had mentioned at the beginning was getting construction work done. So I had trained at this gym for a few years before now, obviously like working out there, and I had never done that back loop.
They said that was like the old.
That was the old. I was like, why would that?
Yeah,
work?
I like
and then
it
what
better,
I found,
because I don't like the road by like.
But what I found out as well though is that actually the reason that they don't use that, because clearly anybody who would run both of those routes would be like, it's the bikers, and the bikers apparently, because it's a only bike portion of that road or that trail. And so if all of a sudden, you get a whole fucking herd of CrossFitters running up there, and then you're just like, God damn it!
Yeah,
as a bike, I mean, I can see,
it. Yeah, like,
especially
move out
when
the
it's
way.
labeled as such. Like, hey,
Yeah.
if it's a multi-use, and this is another little thing that we can go down here too for anybody that like mountain bikes or something like that on a multi-use trail.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, if it's a multi-use trail, you got to be respectful of everybody.
God, that's so stressful, honestly, though.
Well, yeah, when we've been running those, like
Yeah.
a handful of trails, mountain bikers, which don't get me wrong, mountain biking is fun as shit. I haven't even done it to the, extent that we're seeing on the trails that we've gone on,
Yeah.
but I should say like glorified trail riding is the most that I've done.
You've gone trail riding?
Just on a bike, yeah, but like as a kid.
Well, yeah, I would imagine.
But not like anything like this intense that we're seeing as we're going on these runs. But anyways, these single track mountain bike trails, which are beautifully kept by the surrounding Twin Cities area. What is it? 3 districts, 3 Rivers district.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The single mountain bike track trails are fucking phenomenal to go run on if you're a trail runner. Or just wanting to get into running in general and you don't want to just go right down your block. I have found trail running to be so much more enjoyable than that of street running. What would you say?
100%. It's so much more enjoyable.
Because
It's just like, I don't know, like running on a road, it makes me feel like everyone's looking at me and like they're judging my speed. If I'm in like the actual like woods, like I'm by myself, like generally, and then I mean, or with you,
Yeah.
But just like out in kind of nature, you get the whole aspect of just like being away from the city and the noise and the like stimulus. So it's like nice to like shut off your brain and just like run.
Well, and for anybody listening right now, you have a background in, you would say, more trail running to begin with because you're a avid Spartan racer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd love for you to kind of expand on that. How did you get into that?
Yeah. So definitely have way more experience on trails than road running. I know you did the marathon and that probably is way different than your actual training now for the trail runs. Or how does it kind of compare?
Well, I like the training for the marathon was different just in terms of the environment that you're in.
Did you have fun running? Like
I did.
Okay,
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like you asked me like that, you're like, are you sure you even could have been having fun while you were running? It's like, yeah, I still had fun. It was just like
because I'm sorry, I just like enjoy the trail running so much more than like road running. I just think it's kind of boring.
Being in the road?
Yeah.
I mean, when I would do my routes, I would always try to pick like a fun area, like go around like the Twin Cities,
maybe
Stonehenge Bridge. But like, I'm not going to run through my fucking neighborhood.
Yeah,
maybe I'm not doing that.
I did all that during COVID because we had no options.
Yeah. Well,
I was picking
that's
up
a whole other story. Jeez.
Yeah, shut down.
I know. We had a fun. Well, yeah, we've spoken on it multiple times. Where Croy and I, during COVID would work out at the playground with just a barbell just to be able to get shit done. So always got to find like a different avenue to go. But yeah, trail running I just feel way more enjoyable.
I like it. It's so fun. And
you get to disconnect a little bit.
Yeah,
is what I enjoy. I think honestly, if I just had to narrow it down to one thing, it would be you just get to kind of disconnect.
I just like that there's no noise. I think that's like a big thing because you're going through your day Monday through Friday. You're at work. You're hearing noise. You're just like surrounded by cars honking, stopping. Like it's just like pretty silent when you're out running in the woods. But anyways, going back to my Spartan racing. Those funny that you say that. I didn't actually get into them because I thought it was super cool. I got into it because I saw a reality TV show that I grew up my whole life watching. They were going to be there. I could audition for it. And I was like, fuck yeah, I want to audition for this show. And on top of it, I was like, well, I'm athletic. I want to find, because I was a gymnast and soccer player in high school and college. And not college. I lied. Sorry about that. High school. And then I went off to college and I worked on academics and stuff. But I missed that kind of grit or that extra oomph in my life. So I was searching for how to get that back, and that's how I kind of got into it.
And how many Spartan races have you
done? Let's see. So I did one in Los Angeles. After that, I did one in Monterey. Did one in Las Vegas, and then did one in Dallas. So I'm on 4 right now, and I'm going to 5 in 3 weeks.
Yep, and that one is where?
Denver. No, Colorado Springs. Colorado
Springs.
Yeah, that one's exciting.
And then for Spartan racing, doing a lot more trail running. So
Yeah,
you had been
yeah,
just
yeah.
exposed to it a little bit
Yeah.
more.
Basically, it's like all trails and incline because it's similar to a Tough Mudder, but like the Tough Mudder, I would say is more like flat grounds versus like a Spartan race. You have like the incline, the altitude. It's more out in the West Coast and East Coast because of the
Yep.
altitude. So I had a lot of that, and then obstacles would be like carry sandbags, flip tires, do rope
Yep.
climbs, all that fun
So you're
stuff.
like very already accustomed to this kind of just grunt work style
Yeah,
of workout
yeah.
to begin with.
Oh yeah.
Had done multiple Spartan races before, and then also you were, I mean, so you were also a competitive gymnast, and then you were also a soccer player. So fitness
Yeah.
had always just been just a
Part of-
huge
yep.
part of your life, and something that was
Exactly.
just instilled in you at an early age, and then kind of then transformed into the Spartan racing, which is something that you continue to do, and then that led up to just this last year of you doing MURPH
Yeah.
for the first time.
Yeah.
So like before you even got to doing MURPH, like what was your like had you heard about it ever like before that, or was it just that last year that you're like, oh okay, yeah, so what is this workout like? Well, what is that story?
Yeah, no, I think I like actually heard about it. I think I was intimidated to do it because I prior to like being introduced to CrossFit, like I mean, it's kind of intimidating to hear like CrossFit. Like you think of like all the people that are lifting all those heavy dump or barbells, and I just wasn't like into that yet, or I wasn't exposed to that, so I was like nervous to do it. But then I was like, I think it was like I graduated PA school, and I was like, I'm gonna try it this time, and I was like, heck yes, this was so fun and it was so worth it. But I think I was just like intimidated to like actually try it. But I heard of it before.
And what part of the workout in particular would you have been more intimidated?
I think the numbers, just the pure.
Okay,
numbers.
so like the sheer volume of it.
Yeah. Because I can.
It is
do,
a
like
lot.
A run.
It is a lot.
Like it's all body weight, but it's just like the numbers, like 200, 300. That's a lot.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
So,
that's fair. I think for a lot too, it's like the movements like a pull up.
Yeah.
Too. You know, it's like intimidating. Like, oh shit, like I can't even like. I feel like for a lot of people, they're like, oh, I can't even do one.
Yeah.
Let alone like 100. Like they hear that number and they're like, well,
like
fuck that.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Like not a chance.
Yeah. So going into this one, what would you say was?
Oh, I feel a lot more comfortable now. I just think with experience in like the CrossFit, like I've gotten more into fitness now and like focused on like certain aspects. So I was going in confident to it, and I was excited because I was like, I love challenges and I love like pushing myself. So I was excited.
Now, do you think that also comes from the fact that you had already done it and completed it once, and like you've shown and proven yourself, like, okay, I can do it. So now, like, hey, it's coming around to be a fun challenge again. But now I know that I've conquered it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
but I mean, in
the fear of the unknown.
It was a year ago, so I mean, like. You know, you like forget stuff, like
true.
But still, I have a understanding of okay, I've survived it that year, so I can definitely survive it this year. But,
and again, now you're going from alchemy where you did it your first time. How did that compare with your experience today doing MURPH at Powerhouse? Because I thought today was fucking.
Oh, it was
awesome.
So busy.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of the community was super like helpful and cheerful, and they just like were very there to like support one another and kind of push each other. So I think that maybe was a little different. Maybe if I was more routine at Alchemy, that would kind of be the same like feeling. But I feel like everyone here was like super supportive. They're pushing each other. It just like kept going. I really enjoyed that.
There was something about just like pulling up to the gym. And again, with the weather that we were having, where you're like, okay, you know, we're the workout's at 8:00 in the morning, or that was the one that we signed up for. Anyways, there was 2 heats throughout the day, which both were completely packed.
Oh yeah.
Even once we were done,
yeah.
That second class had a full load as well. But driving up to the gym, and again, it's just that gloomy, just drizzly type of wet, rainy weather, nice and cold out a little bit. And then it just seeing everyone just almost like marching in with a weight vest over their shoulder. Like there was a lot of people wearing weight vests. Not to say that you have to do this workout with a weight vest. So that's the other. That's the other thing. When describing MURPH and the workout, if we go back to again the way that it was written, 1 mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and another mile run. But if you have a vest. And for the men, wearing a 20-pound weight vest, and for the women, 14-pound weight vest.
That's a lot of
that's another aspect of that I think when people view MURPH, they also think of that.
I
and
think
it's like,
that's
there's also a vest, and like I gotta wear that, and holy shit. Now it's not only the volume, but now I have to get weighed down with an extra 20 pounds, which, depending on where you're at within your fitness level, that 20 pounds is, that shit adds up.
Well, yeah, it's 20 pounds.
Yeah. Again, 14. Yeah.
That's a lot of extra weight.
But there is something cool about seeing everybody just kind of walking in that weather. Everyone's strapping on that weight vest over the shoulder.
I liked when, like, at the end, like, because we did it in 2 different heats.
Yeah.
So, like, once the first heat was done, like, a lot of them waited out by, like, the garage doors, like, cheering everybody on, giving them a high five when they, like, came and finished.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool to see.
Yeah. So big shout out Powerhouse, crushed it at St. Louis Park, Ethan coaching, and that whole crew.
That was fun.
Also go check out my sick little edit that I whipped up on the Instagram right now at this point as well. Yeah, if you haven't checked that out, I thought it turned out pretty sick too. Low-key video editing. We'll see if we get into it. It's fun as shit. I was actually really stoked with that. It was fun to make that little artistic, and even just having that little bit of a lens to it this year oddly kind of made it fun for me too.
Yeah.
Like, how can I try to capture in a way like that essence of like the workout in the community all with that. And it was just something that I was like pretty stoked about. So if you're listening right now, go check it out. Average Bros Gym Podcast, the Instagram. And just, give us a like and a follow. We're going to be putting out more content like that here moving forward. Anyways, go, give us a like and a follow if you haven't already done. Let's go.
Yeah.
Killing it. So doing that workout with a little bit of the artistic lens to it and viewing it as like the community, and then also for myself doing a different variation this year.
Have you? Because you've done it like quite a bit.
I've done MURPH now for. Somebody else asked me this earlier when I was just catching up with everybody. I don't think I've missed a year doing MURPH in probably a decade.
10 years.
Yeah, I don't.
How many of those years did you do it with Croy? Because I know you said you.
Last couple years actually. Yeah. You guys. I know, Croy. If you didn't fucking do MURPH, buddy. I'm just curious. I'm just kidding, Croy. Hopefully you're crushing it. Yeah, but MURPH this weekend or something. We've done it the last couple of years. We were going to, make it like just, as long as I have somebody or somewhere or a community I do it with, I always was going to do it, because I when I first did it too, it was that still slightly intimidating workout that you wanted to seek out, or I did anyways, the challenge of it. You're like, ooh, yeah, let's go do that. Like, that looks like a workout that kind of sucks and that not a lot of people are going to look forward to. So like, let's go annihilate it. But
and also for the reason behind it too.
And exactly for that too. And I think if I do it, this is my favorite workout of the year. Actually, it legitimately is. It's my favorite workout of the year. It's 1,000% my favorite workout of the year. For the reason behind why we're doing it, I am in support, I guess, of the military to a degree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and especially with the story of itself, and like for soldiers who have sacrificed their lives, like that is the, like the work that those men and women do. I cannot again thank the people that serve more. And so for the story, the reason behind it, and also for the challenge of it, and for the mental, and then especially for that last part, like you just said, the community of it. Is what really just keeps me coming back year after year after year. And then also being able to do different variations of it and mix it up too, like every year kind of throwing a different curveball at it. So like this year I did the 1 mile run, and then I did the 10, 20, 30 rep scheme, but all strict. So strict pull-ups and obviously push-ups and air squats. And then, just that strict version.
So have you done it like 100 pull-ups at a time?
Yep. Yeah, I've done it that way. Yeah,
sounds miserable.
No, it's actually. I mean, if you get like the kipping pull-ups and stuff down, like you can cruise through pretty good.
How many pull-ups can you do in a row with the kipping?
With a weight vest on?
I guess
I've never actually like tested it, but I would be very confident that if I was doing seriously, because butterfly pull-ups, those are some.
I want to know how to do that. It's so
body weight wise, I know I can crank out sets of 20 plus all day.
Dang.
And then for a weight vest, I mean, yeah, then I'm looking at least like 30 plus. You know, if I was just doing one unbroken set, like my biggest number possible and just one go, yeah, I'd be probably around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Calluses today were feeling a little bit tender on the pull-ups.
I ripped.
Yeah, you ripped a little. Yeah. So MURPH, that's another one too. If you don't file down some of the calluses on that, or like for pull-ups, that's a lot of volume.
Yeah.
You know, which is something that we haven't necessarily been. I don't know, but I feel like that. I shouldn't even say that because the way that we train, it kind of is also fun because like to do well at MURPH, it's like you kind of got to be really well rounded at a lot of things.
Well, yeah.
When you think about it, like you have to have like the aerobic capacity to be able to do it. You have to have the muscular endurance and strength to be able to, you know, move your body weight, you know, around, and obviously like that skill set too. So it's a really fun workout. So now having gone, you know, 2 years back to WAC, what were those experiences like for you? How did the first year differ from that of the second?
I think I definitely went in more confident this year, so I like knew what to expect. But when I got to the 5th round, I was like, oh my god, I still have 5 rounds left. Like, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, whatever, I can do this. And then after like finishing the 10th round of like breaking up the scheme, going for that run, I was like, hell yeah, we're almost done.
Yeah.
It felt good to just like crank it out because I love running, so that was like a nice way to end the workout.
Yeah, that last 1 mile did really feel good on the legs. Oddly enough, because this was when I had done this version previously, or sorry, not the one that I did today, but having done versions of MURPH in years past. Like I've done it where you just try to like burn it down as quick as you can and make it hurt, and like your legs feel like lead and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Those kind of suck. But the version that I did today was just kind of enjoy it and really soak it in. And then so that last run also with the amount of miles that we've been putting in lately.
It was just
1 mile run was like, all right.
Yeah. The first mile run, I was like, damn, this feels so good.
Oh my God.
What?
Well, it's funny that you bring that up because on the way back of the first mile, there was a guy right behind me because you led.
Yeah, I did.
Along with there was one
other guy behind me.
One guy behind you, and then I was right behind you from our heat that went off. So we were 1 and 3. And one of the guys who was just behind me coming up in 4th just was asking as we were entering onto the gym. He's like, hey, obviously like you run, like what pace do you think we were at?
We were like 10 minutes.
No, we weren't.
We weren't?
No, we weren't.
Oh, yeah.
We started our heat at 10 minutes. And then when we got in, I looked at the clock and it was like 18:04, which means we were running an 8-minute mile.
Wait, actually?
Yeah, y'all were faster than that then. You would have been sub 8.
That'd have been like, yeah,
you would have been like sub 8. But yeah, I was just like, oh, fucking way off from what we've been running for the like 50K.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
That is something too with like the 50K training and like doing those runs for that long and that distance and that duration. Like this amount of volume today for like MURPH felt kind of like, and I like even on the legs, I was like, all right, like it just felt like really. And again, I wasn't trying to crank it down and get my fastest time, but at the same time, I was like, I think I came out of this MURPH feeling better than any other MURPH I've ever done.
I feel like I've been training harder the last year, so it felt a lot easier this year for me. I mean, granted, it is still a bitch to do, but it just felt easier and more doable. And I think this training for like the 50K is, I'm really curious to see like how I do on my next Spartan race, if it's easier or if I do even better than I have in the past.
Well, and so not only does your like background kind of, I don't know, mesh really well with the MURPH style of workout.
Yeah.
You know, given the high volume and the repetitions and the running that's obviously
like
included, and even the weight that you're carrying. But yeah, you're being a gymnast and a soccer player, you know, when you were younger, but then also for gymnastics being more of your primary sport.
Yeah.
The mental fortitude and discipline that's required of that to then translate that to Spartan racing. And then obviously, so you tackle something like MURPH. So not only are you physically prepared for it, but you're more mentally prepared for it. And that's an aspect that I would love for you to expand on. So like you growing up more of a competitive gymnast and how you've seen that kind of translate over into your like Spartan racing and, you know, even just tackling something like that. MURPH today. Yeah. You know?
No, I think gymnastics, like it was such a love-hate relationship with it, but I think it's taught me like so many life lessons. And I'm like so grateful that I was in it because I've learned how to be like have grit, to have resilience, to have adaptability. Because I started gymnastics when I was like 2 years old. I was doing cartwheels in my house. My mom's like, "We need to like get you
Do you
doing
have video
something."
evidence? Do you not have video? You don't have like the old like home
I probably
videos of
okay.
you like rolling around on the floor like, Mom, look at me. Like
yeah, Mom, look at me. I'm doing all these cool shit.
Yeah, those videos are so much fun. Like when your parents actually bust out like the old video.
No, I
things
actually
of you.
think we were the last week. Me and my mom were looking through my old like baby pictures and stuff.
Those
and
are
she
the
was
best.
like clearing out stuff, and we found like the DVDs.
Oh,
and we
yeah.
have like nothing to put it in because now we live in the 20th century, and what is that? A DVD?
Yeah.
We don't have DVD players, but yeah. So I think there's some video evidence of me doing it when I was younger, but I do have stuff like when I'm older doing it more competitive. But yeah, so I got into gymnastics because I was doing cartwheels all the time. My mom's like, "You gotta burn off some energy," and so she just threw me in, and I just caught on really easily and kind of was very initially naturally talented. But I did put in the work for it. But yeah, it taught me a lot of life lessons. I was going to the gym when I was like I started competing at 6 years old, so I had to get up on a balance beam in front of everybody and kind of like pull myself together and be mature and poised. If I fell off, I would have to get back up and just continue the routine. I couldn't like run off and cry. So it taught me how to not give up on myself for sure. And then kind of going in when I was older in high school, I was doing it like 30 hours a week. I would basically go to school, go to the gym, come home and do my homework and go to bed. Taught me how to like make sacrifices, time management for sure, which definitely has like contributed to my success in like my academics and my professional career. It taught me how to do like the time management of PA school and succeed in a lot of life lessons. But definitely, I just remember times where it's definitely an interesting sport to be in. Mildly mentally abusive. I have so many stories that people wouldn't even believe that are true.
And that's like one aspect of gymnastics in particular that I feel is like the mental hurdles, and this is with every sport. If you're going to be competing at an elite level, that you're going to have to come to terms with is that it is going to be very challenging,
especially when you're like at a competitive level.
When you're at any competitive level within any sport, there's going to be certain challenges. But like I feel that you hear that very often too with gymnastics in particular, though.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's like because it's an individual sport, so it's all on you, and you're getting all of this stress from coaches like pushing you. Because I feel like maybe like figure skating or something like that would also have. I've heard of that, but I don't know if that's true or not.
I think there's some I would say to that, like where you're gymnast and like all eyes are on you, and it's a quiet room, like no one's talking. Like I'm thinking about if you're like something on the beam. I don't know if there's like music and stuff to it. Is there?
Well, yeah, you have to navigate that because when you're at like a competition, people are on the floor and they have their music going, so you have to like be dead set on the beam and focusing on that so you don't like crush the beam.
That would tickle. Yeah. It hurts. But like I feel like that, and I guess I'm thinking immediately to like the one and only gymnastics movie I've ever seen in my life was Stick It.
Yeah.
Was Stick It.
It's a good movie.
Which is like the training montages. I know we were just talking about this.
Yeah.
I would feel on par with that of any other training montage I've seen in any video ever. Like they were so intense. Like
100%.
That got me when we watched that for the first time or with my family. That was a fucking kick-ass movie.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. But again, for that reason, particularly, like you saw how intense the training sessions were. They were doing colon plunges, they were doing stretching, they were doing mobility, they were doing strength training, and then they were just eating fucking mat like
100%
day after day after day trying to get a certain trick down.
Just get back up and do it.
Yeah, and in that movie too, I guess I'm also a little bit shaded because isn't there the whole like she's training with a certain coach who has like I don't know, he's like the dangerous coach in a way or something.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like it does a really good representation of gymnastics though.
Yeah,
like, training wise. No, I was just gonna say because it reminds me of like the training in there, how they like push like the cold plunges, all of that. One time I basically fell and like broke my finger, and my coach was like, "No, you just gotta get back up and finish the routine. Like you're fine." And then the next day I came in and I was like, I broke my finger. And she's like, oh, okay, well, keep doing your routine.
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah.
That's savage.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's like,
abuse.
yeah.
That's
it's
the other
hard.
thing, because like gymnastics too, it's like your prime age is like you're young.
I was 7 years old or 6 years old when I started like actually competing, but I would say like my prime was like 7 to maybe like 12 or 13. That was like my prime. And I'm like young. Like if I look at like my cousin's 13 years old right now, and I'm like, me and her were in a different like bracket. Like I was like very mature for my age at that point, and it's just interesting how mature it makes you.
Because Simone Biles, how old is she?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey Alexa, how old is Simone Biles?
Simone Biles is 27 years old.
27.
Dang.
And she's not even.
I don't think I don't know.
Is she retired?
Hey,
No.
Alexa, is Simone Biles retired? Oh, it's not going to know that answer. Okay. Yeah, whatever. But anyways, yeah. So I feel like she's still in it.
Simone Biles.
Yeah, she's a badass.
Well, I mean, so either way, the idea being that she's 27 years old and has just dominated all of gymnastics. But if she's done competing, like then, yeah, her prime was like in early 20s or something like that.
You know, your body starts to hurt really bad.
Yeah. Well, and then as you like, start to grow, develop all those things. It's just that that window is also pretty unique when it comes 100%. to gymnastics. But yeah,
because I think it's also like seeing the training for gymnastics on Stick It versus like soccer. I mean, I don't know, my team at least. I can't speak for all other teams. I think it was kind of a joke. Like it was like I was used to like being like pushed to the limits, and then soccer was like, oh, if you sprain your ankle, okay, we want you to sit out. You need to rest. And gymnastics is like, you sprained your ankle, so get back up there.
Oh yeah.
Just that like mindset difference, and like it was a unique experience to have both soccer and gymnastics, an individual sport and then a team sport.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially like team versus individual, where the success of the team is greater than that of your own performance and that idea. I think again with MURPH, that's also kind of like a little tie-in where you feel as though you want just like the community as a whole to be able to, win and succeed and excel, barring that of like your own quote unquote performance on that day, which I think again, being that it's more of the community part of that workout that a lot of people are like drawn to. We're not necessarily focused on going out like hitting a PR each and every time. But then now that training mentality to go from that to now like the 50K training, that's something that I think also it translates over to multiple areas, like all throughout your life. If you're disciplined enough to be able to get out on the trail, put in like the miles, but then also have the fortitude to be able to continue to push those miles, like when your body is hurting or when you're 100 squats in on the 300 squats of MURPH, you're like, oh, that's right, and I still have the 1 mile run right there on afterwards. Like having that just years and years proving to yourself that you can do hard shit.
And I think it definitely takes years to do. I mean, the first step to kind of challenging yourself and putting yourself out there just gets easier and easier over time, but definitely initially it's hard, but it does push you to like, it just like becomes ingrained in who you are basically. Like I know, like for myself in particular, having all of those growth experiences and challenging myself and putting myself in uncomfortable positions, I know I can do that and I can be okay pushing myself and doing uncomfortable things. But taking that first step is scary and hard sometimes.
Well, like that's a really tough area of somebody who is looking to start a health and fitness I don't know, could be training program or cycle or like nutritional habit or plan. That's really hard to do, is like take that like initial first step, like signing up at a gym, signing up for a race. But that's something that we've talked about that I think is so important. Just like how we put MURPH on the calendar every single year, I think for somebody who's wanting to start something off, like giving yourself a again, a timeline or event or something to go out, pursue and chase, I think is so powerful. And MURPH, I know, oh yeah, I'm doing that workout every Memorial Day. Should probably be ready for it. Oh, I know, like 12 Days of Christmas is a workout that I love doing every single year. So it's like, oh yeah, something like that. Or, bigger events that you throw on the calendar, even more so than those, like a Spartan race that you have coming up, or the 50K that we have coming up in October. Like that in particular, I know we've talked at length where we recognize that the undertaking that is going to be is
I'm quite a bit nervous about that.
Well, you were just saying a story about how there was a lady that you knew.
She's an avid marathoner. And she did the Duluth 50K last year, and she's not doing it this year because she was traumatized by it last year.
Traumatized.
Okay, maybe that's a little bit overstretched, but she is not doing it this year, let's say.
Because of how challenging that actual event was. And so Wild Duluth races, which Croy, if you haven't started training here, big dog, we'll have to get out for a trail run here soon. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm like throwing Croy under the bus. It's just like we always like to hold one another accountable. So like the 50K coming up in October, we had heard
How did you even hear about it?
I actually heard it from Smitty, who was at the gym, and we just got to talking one day, and he had always been into, trail running, had done like a handful. And so we might have just been discussing my marathon one day. It's like, well, you ever do like trail running? Or it's like, sign up for this 50K. And then it was just whatever it was. I was like, fuck yeah, sure. Okay.
Sign me up.
Yeah, why not? I'd done the marathon, but I know I didn't want to do another road marathon because I'd already done that. I'm like, all right, like what, sure.
What's
I can,
next?
It's like, okay, I could run another marathon, but it's just another, I don't know, that sounds bad. Like it's just another marathon.
Yeah, I mean, you want a different challenge.
I want to push it. I want to push it. And that's the same reason why I want to like do MURPH every year, 12 Days of Christmas, or go into those communities, because like those training partners and
it's
the
so
gyms
important.
themselves are so fucking important, and like surrounding yourself with people who are genuinely pushing you, I think is
and
so valuable.
Same values kind of in that regard of health and wellness. Like, so they're there to encourage you. You're there to encourage them and push them in a healthy way.
And then, so, when we got as large of a group as we did to sign up for this 50K, like it's pretty cool to see one another's progression as we lead up to this challenge coming up in October, and there's still like registration and sign up. So it's like, if you're looking for something to throw on the calendar, like go ahead and do it. Because,
even if you don't want to do the 50K, there's a half marathon.
Yeah, half marathon, 10K, 5K, probably even all on the Superior Hiking Trail. And it's just one of those challenges that I've been searching for, wanting.
Yeah.
Like one that's out there that makes you feel like a little bit nervous and makes you feel like, oh, I've already right now feel excited, and I'm like, I don't want to be unprepared for this, like, because that's really going to suck if I am. And just to know the challenge that we are going to be facing come October is just fun.
The longest I've run is 12 miles. And I got like 20 more to go.
Yeah. Well,
I'm nervous.
Yeah, that's. I mean, when we finished that run that we did up at Elm Creek, that one was one where we were about halfway in. We hit the 6 mile mark, and then it was like either go left or go right. And if we went left, it was just going to be another 2 miles, and you're back to the trailhead. But if we went right, we were going to go for another 6. And then you looked at me and were like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "Well, fuck it.
I know.
Let's go for 6." Like, just to tread out into some of the deeper waters a little bit.
It was a lot of fun.
Like you said, that was a PR that day.
Yeah,
but
it felt really good. But I've never, the longest I've run trail running, or even in general, I guess, is 6 miles. So that was double what I've ever run. So it felt really good to do.
Well, and I think that again speaks to when we were discussing taking that first like leap, or doing that, like signing up for that first class, or like going to the gym, or that thing that makes you a little bit nervous, like setting a goal for yourself and putting something out on the calendar, and then holding and committing to it and staying like disciplined enough to like actually see it through, is again so powerful. And I think more people need to experience that or should be challenging themselves throughout the year in order to be able to do so. And then, to have like the 50K that we're going to be going down and chasing, to know it's going to be that challenging is going to be really, really fun.
What I also really like is that like Facebook group is that you like created. It kind of creates like everyone to like come together and like see that, oh, we went out, then someone else went out. It just like keeps us accountable as a group to like, kind of be on our toes to be ready.
Yeah.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. So it's the bringing people together all with the same kind of mindset, viewpoint, mission,
exactly.
And then holding one another accountable, throughout that. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's still going to come down to those individual people as to whether or not they show up, and actually like put in the work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I mean, it ultimately comes down to you. If you want to challenge yourself, you want to do it, you have to show up for you at the end of the day. Like, you're not going to ultimately just make me do a run I don't want to do. I have to decide myself that I want to do it. You can help me and encourage me along the way, but if I don't want to do it,
what do you mean? Like, hey, we're going right. We're going to run another 6 and just like PR your all-time longest run.
Yeah, like that. You encouraged me. I decided for myself, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, we're gonna go."
There's a fine
but
line.
I was like, do I really want to do this?
there's also like a fine line between like the encourage. Stevie, you are just all sorts of sneezy. Is it allergies? Oh, I think it might be allergies. But yeah, speaking of like encouragement, it's almost kind of funny because being a coach and recognizing with different people how to approach the situation based on a variety of different factors. How's your day going? How's their day going? Do they seem as though they're in a space mentally and emotionally to be able to receive feedback or whatever? There was one moment earlier today at the gym. What
do you mean?
Remember when you were doing push-ups? And
I was
like, hey, and you are not about it. Yeah. You're not about it.
No, I was not. I was like, fuck off and mind your own business.
Because it was like doing the push-up with
you're like
full
get
range
your chest
motion.
on the ground. I'm like, go mind your own business over there.
Yeah, but that was kind of funny.
No, but then
well, because
it was funny. You were holding me accountable.
Exactly, and it's like that same kind of thing.
It was tough love, it's good.
Yeah, and I think that's good to have like those people in your life that are willing to check you a little bit and make sure that you stay on top of your shit.
100%. Like, I wouldn't want you to be like, good job when you're not doing a good job. I know I would want you to still tell me I'm doing a good job. But you know what I mean. Like, pushing me in a good way.
Exactly. And that's, again, with training partners or a community of people, like if you're just working out at like a Lifetime Fitness and you find it really challenging to be able to stick with your routine, you're like, I'm going to do that at home routine. And I said I was going to do it every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and you ain't done dick. Like, well, okay. Clearly that's not working. So like maybe go find a gym, go find a training partner, but then also look around at who those training partners are.
Yeah.
And are they truly wanting
the best for you
and your improvement? And if that's verbally like what you're speaking out, into existence, like, yeah, I want a healthier, fitter life. And you want those people around you that are going to be able to help you in that pursuit. But then you look around and you're like, all right, well, I always work out with Nancy, but then she's just a little chatterbox, and then we don't really actually like work out that much. And it's like, well, you got to assess that shit and then make a fucking change.
Yeah.
To actually like, go
what
through.
Your goals are.
And anyways, that's a little tangent on just and I think, but you need that in every aspect. Like if you start letting one thing slip, then another thing wants to start to slip a little bit, and then that's that little like curveball. It's the same thing. Like, oh, well, I had like one little Hershey's Kiss, and now that's going to turn into an entire fucking buffet for me tonight because fuck it, and we're going to start tomorrow. Yeah. It's like, how many people have that? Oh God.
Definitely, I have.
I mean, myself too. Yeah,
I've come back for a cookie 1 or 2 times.
Oh yeah, well, and then it's like, what are your go-tos in terms of that? Like, one thing that I've really enjoyed is like where we only set it to a weekend.
I do like that. Yeah, I think that's like a good like compromising goal.
Yeah. So I mean, like even in this, like some of the little things that speaking of training partners and community and everything else, like one of the things, even if like if with your significant other, having them in your corner as well, like. Just the other day, I put up the little sticky note, for you where it was like, hey, you got this. And then I wrote 3 minutes underneath it. Yeah, as in like, hey, 3 minutes to stay in the cold shower. Like you can do it, or like a little note that you'll leave me in the morning or whatever. Like, hey, like, again, you got this or just whatever that it is I think, again, so so
powerful.
important.
Yeah.
You know, it really is.
Mhm.
And, you know, if you show me the 5 closest people to you and like you'll be the sum average of that and you'll be like the 6th, then again, if there's one person that you're spending the most amount of time with, probably besides yourself, would be that of your significant other. And then how that trickles down to your kids and to your extended family. Like the number of times I'll get asked at like family get-togethers about just different health and fitness type of like questions because they're genuinely curious or whatnot, is like it's good to even to be able to see those little habits kind of change in that of other people for the better. Who they
that's a really exciting like thing to see.
Yeah.
And I can imagine like as a coach, like you're encouraging someone to like pick up a heavier weight and then they have that confidence to like do it, and then they're like, you just see the spark in their eyes. Because I just remember a time where one of my friends, we were working out and one of the coaches there was like, oh, you can do more, you can pick up 20 pounds. And so she like was like, yeah, I can. And so she did it, and I was just like, I was just really proud of her, and I could just see how like proud of herself she was. So it was just like, as a coach, I'm sure you see that like all the time too, and I just think it's very cool to see that spark from people.
Well, and then even as like as an athlete yourself, you get to experience that, you know, a lot too. Like when was the last time that you had one of those when it was, oh wow, I was really proud of myself for doing that thing that made me feel uncomfortable or that I didn't think that I could do, and then I just went out and proved to myself that I could do it. Like when was the last time you had one of those?
Well, I want to say that like longer run on the trail.
Yeah, the 12 miles.
I also want to say that when I did like my last Spartan race, because I hadn't done it in a year, so I was really nervous to see how I would compare prior to my like other races I'd done. I was like really nervous that I was like going to be like behind where I was. So I think just like challenging myself in that way, I felt really proud of myself because I did really good in respect to my age group.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was going to say, because you ended up finishing that. What was that? You finished second, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of,
I think it was like 150.
Yeah.
So I was really proud. I was really surprised because I was like looking at the numbers. I was like, I think I did good. I have no idea. I just wanted to get through it again because I hadn't done it forever. And I was like, damn, I did good.
Yeah.
I just kind of tapped myself on the back like, dang. So it got me excited.
Well, and that's like recognizing that, if you have like competitive aspirations when it comes to your health and fitness, like, then like by all means go for it. But otherwise, like if you're just happy with yourself at the end of the day, and like where you're at with like your training and where things are going, like that's ultimately like the most important. Like who gives a shit if you can't back squat whatever X, Y, or Z way, or if you can't run X, Y, or Z number, length, or distance or time, or you know, if you're happy like with where you're at and what your body can do, then you're fucking killing it. And like same thing with like how you look and what that looks like. But like, okay, if you don't have like a six pack, or you can't run a sub 6 minute mile, or you can't lift whatever number, it's like, well, all right, are you happy? Like at the end of the day, that's like all that matters. And find something that you can then challenge yourself that continues to keep you wanting to grow, and that like lights your fire a little bit, and that makes you nervous. Like the 50K is going to be that next one. I know for you and I, for sure, that will be like, oh wow, like I just went out into some very deep dark water a little bit, because it's so much growth and like exploration, I think, just personally and like spiritually and mentally, like on
you have
all
to show
levels
up for yourself at that point.
You really do.
You can't just quit. You have to. You're 10 miles in and you're hurting. You just got to keep going. And after you get through that, when you cross the line, you're like, damn, I did that. Like I showed up for myself no matter what. Like I think that teaches you so much to like be there for yourself, and then like any other challenges in life, it just makes it that much more easy to deal with and overcome.
When it's like, and if you don't have a goal like that makes you a little bit nervous a little bit, then I think you're kind of fucking up, to be honest. You know, like you got to push that boundary continuously day after day after day. And same thing when it comes to your goals and aspirations. Otherwise you'll just turn complacent, and then what the fuck is that? Like
I don't want that in life. I have my goals, and I want to continue to work towards goals, and always set goals for myself, even if it's just like a little thing.
Well, and it's funny that we touch on so many different aspects, both personally and communally, in regard to our training, both with our sport background, with your Spartan racing, with my marathon, now up to the 50K, the power that your own personal interests and values and just like your overall lifestyle align with what it is that you're pursuing, and like that you just also individually like health and fitness and keeping healthy in your body, and hey, I'm doing this ultimately at the end of the day for me. Like we know that is the underlying like biggest factor, but also we recognize like the power of the community like on top of that too. And like just like today at Powerhouse, or if you're at Alchemy or whatever facility that you currently find yourself at, that can be like a catch-all net sometimes, even if your own strides are a little bit less than, you're not making the progress that you want. It's like sometimes just the community is what really keeps you coming back.
I mean, even speaking for myself, like I very much enjoy working out in a community base versus like doing it on my own. I feel like I have the challenge and the support behind it, versus if I'm just doing it myself, I'm like, like I like that extra, keep me in check moments.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like a really hard workout, or just like, that support to help me get through it.
Well, it'll be fun when we get up to the trail actually, and you're sitting there at, like,
the starting line. That's how my heart like races every single time I start a Spartan race. I'm like, oh my God, let's go.
That part's exciting.
Go. It's so exciting.
Well, and we'll have to like make sure that we're coming out at a chill.
Yeah, I know, because I'm going to be super excited.
Because adrenaline's going to be going just like today. Perfect example again when we were coming back on the last mile from MURPH today, and the guy who was coming up behind me in fourth place, I say fourth place like I was competing. I really wasn't, but I'm just like visually like he was the fourth in our heat, like right behind me, whatever, just behind
the guy behind me.
The guy behind.
There we go.
Was asking about like what pace we were running, and I was like, God, you know what? I think we'd probably be, because a lot of our trail runs we've been running around like 10 to 10:30, and I was like, I'd imagine like maybe like a 9:15. No, fucking 8:02. Is what we were coming in at the door.
You were 8 minutes, so that means I was like
you were under 8
or something.
Like about 7:30. About 7:30, easy there. Yeah, but either way, coming out much faster than what I would have even like initially anticipated. Let alone the fact that once we get out to we're at the 25-kilometer mark. That's halfway. Eventually on that day in October, it's like, we're a couple hours in, and we have even many more hours, as in plural, to go. And then just be able to look up with the crew that we're with. Thinking about who
in the trenches together.
Exactly. Honestly, though, like it's that same feeling that for anybody that played like a team sport remembers having, like, these are your guys, like these are your girls, like you are all in this together in this one pursuit. And you don't get that in an individual sport. Like it's again you versus you, which I think can make you a fucking phenomenal athlete and competitor in your own right. But there is a dynamic of team sport that is inherently unique. In that your success is less valued than that of the team's like success. You want that more at the end of the day.
I think doing the 50K with a big group also takes off the edge of like the pressure too, to, if I can look around seeing everyone else doing it and like feeling the same way I'm feeling. So that like encourages me to keep going too. Like we're all in the same boat, getting after the same goal. Yeah.
And it was just like that today during MURPH. Like, and that's what I love about it. And that's what I'm looking forward to, I think, most, is on that 50K day when you're just able to look around at everybody that's out on that trail at those 8 stations, and they're looking just as rough as you and are a little bit beat up. They've taken a fucking fall or two out of the trail, a little bit cut here, a little blood there, a little mud there. And you're like, okay, we're all in this here right now. And then the same thing like with MURPH today is like you're looking around at everybody that's there doing the same workout, regardless of ability, and their own like fitness level. But you're like, we're all doing this here today. And that's something that I think is so just underrated when it comes to your gym. If you don't have like certain things like that kind of like programmed out, like, go ahead and find one or join a, gym just for that day. Like if you've never done MURPH, like put it on your calendar for next year. Because it's fucking fun. It's fun to do. It really is. Like you never come out of the workout feeling like, wish I hadn't done that.
I know. You might want to go in saying, I don't want to do this. But after, you're never saying, damn, I regret that. You honestly don't.
Yeah. No, it's always a great time.
What you laughing at?
Well, anyways, I think that might actually just be a good little stopping point right there. You know, it's just wrapping
I
up
think
on
Stevie's
a
getting a little.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
anxious.
I think she's ready to go for a walk. She's been hearing us all talk about all the fun fitness and life activities that we've been doing today. So, with that, if you've been following along, again, thank you, Mikayla, for hopping on for
thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
our third guest appearance now, actually, on the podcast, and then. For all you listeners out there, thank you again. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, all the different
Apple
links, Apple
YouTube.
Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, obviously. So shout out to Powerhouse for throwing down an awesome Memorial Day workout in MURPH today. If you haven't done it, sign up and schedule it out. Put it on your calendar for next year. And then, get ready to get on after it. Again, we'll be shooting next week, I think now at Croy's new den.
Ooh,
it should be fun
fancy.
to check out. So, with that, enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day weekend. Get outside, soak up some sun, get some steps in. If you got a dog, even better, because then you got a better excuse. All right,
Peace
crew.
out.
Well, later. Have some fun. We will talk soon. Bye.